right about now. All right, so we are recording. I'm gonna go ahead and just do my little introduction. Of course, what's going on, guys? This is your boy AB. I'm back with another weekly analysis video. You know how I do. I usually just go over some quick news that could potentially be very volatile or not, and give my thoughts about it. Quick thoughts, like nothing too crazy, because I don't actually look at news that much as I used to, but I still like to go over it just to see what happens, because that could cause an issue with trades, right? It could ruin your trade whenever you least expect it. But so yeah, that's why I usually go over this. For first things first, today at 10:30 my time, so probably like in about like 14 no yeah about like 14 hours from now, 15 hours from now, we're gonna have this government Bailey speaks, which, hey, it could be about anything. I don't know a lot about the British news or anything like that, but it could move GV pairs. I'm going to talk about what my biases on the GDP pairs are when I go on the charts. Tuesday we have JPY news. When it says tentative, that means it could happen like almost at any time, basically. So you want to watch for that. Wednesday, 9 a.m., we have Canadian dollar news, which is monetary policy report, rate statements, overnight rate, and a press conference. So to see some volatility, definitely I could be expecting some volatility in the Canadian dollar. So that's something that we watch for like pairs like USDCAD and stuff like that I trade. New Zealand dollar, we have it at 5:45 p.m. So that's an hour and 45 minutes after the market closes, or resets for the next day. And it's CPI, and then Australian dollar employment change and unemployment rate, which is at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday. And so that's something I'm going to watch out for, because as we can see here, I actually don't even talk about this a lot, but I should. As you can see right here on this side, you can see that this is what is expected. Like, this is not expected, but this was the previous report from the last time it happened. And then on the left is what's the forecast, like what they're predicting is going to happen, right? And so you can see that the numbers are looking better, because if you see unemployment rate is 7.1%. Well, this actually looks like the unemployment rate might increase, but not by a lot. But then when we see this employment change from negative 227,000, or whatever that number is, because I don't know what that exact value is, versus it dropping to positive, then we could probably see some strength in the Australian dollar as well, which kind of goes against my bias so far, but we'll go ahead and talk about that on the charts. Then we have Euro news Thursday, and this is early in the morning, and 7:30 a.m. we have retail sales on the US dollar, and Friday we have at 5 a.m. GP news again. So that's all about the fundamental analysis part of the chart. So those are times that you might want to watch out for to see if anything happens. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off. And let's get to the charts. All right, so DXY, I had this planned out last week, which is what I was hoping may happen, but it's basically just been in a downtrend a downtrend from. So this is let me see where the opening candle was. Third, yes. So this was the opening candle on Monday that happened last week. It was bearish, and then price continued being bearish, but it still maintained this level that I had drawn out from last week. So this is still it's kind of been consolidating, right? Because when price came down, it gave this bearish candle, then price went up. This candle closed bullish, and then this candle went up, most likely to touch this 96.96 area, then dropped, and then it made a doji candle, and now this is the opening candle right here. So kind of want to see what's going to happen. What I'm honestly thinking is going to happen, unfortunately, if it does, I wouldn't care too much of it. But if price were to come back down over here to touch this 2 deviations and then go up, because that's what it's kind of like looking like. This is still extremely bearish. The only thing that's keeping me optimistic about the buy is because the RSI line on the level pro has crossed the ground zero right here. So that's the only thing that's keeping me optimistic about the DXY still going. I think it's probably going to go bullish, but as of right now, I'm still a little iffy. On. It's funny, I forgot to tell people I'm live. Give me a second. I'm still a little iffy on if the dollar is going to go bullish. I really do think that it could go bullish still, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not really entirely 100% sure on that, because, like I said, the level pro, everything's bearish. This is like another sell, I guess, on this candle right here, and it's an engulfing candle. So, hey, I kind of want to see what plays out here, but it's not looking too great. 4-hour time frame. This is what I like to see, and it was going to happen, but fortunately it didn't. It's setting up for the sell as well. I like the RSI line right here, but again, like, nothing's really showing that it wants to buy. Everything is showing that it wants to sell. Hour time frame, I'm sure, yeah, it just rejected off of this, and then it made a gap down. So this gap, I do expect it to get closed up. But other than that, yeah, guys, I'm not really too feeling the buys as of yet. It's too early to tell. But again, this did gap down, so it does need to go back up on the hourly, like we saw on the hourly time frame. Let me close this. So still waiting and seeing what happens with that. So any questions on the DXY, on the US dollar, before we get into any other pairs, like any of the currency pairs? Where's my I have no idea where it went. Whatever. It's okay. All right, no questions. Okay. That's cool. And I don't mean white supremacy. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. Not really, though. But anyways, let's go on to EURUSD. All right, so EURUSD, kind of the same thing. Not even kind of. It is the exact same thing. I'm not really feeling the sell on this yet. I really do want this to drop, but the way how these candles are showing, it shows like it might go bullish. And like I said, same thing. I can see price coming down over here, then start to go bullish, because then that will make it kind of a double top, even if it did come back up here. So it's highly likely that might be what's the case right now. Not really. It's like I said, it's too early to tell. Nothing on here is showing that it's bearish. Weekly time frame, likewise, nothing showing that it's bearish. Another touch up here, and then a drop wouldn't be so bad for an entry. So EURUSD, I'm currently just, and the thing is, this is also setting up for a sell as well. And this candle that popped up right before the market closed, That's what, man, I don't know. But I do want this to drop. But unfortunately, the possibility of it coming back up here and then dropping, it still exists, and it's still very much accurate. Yeah, still very much accurate. So what I would do right now, if you're in any EURUSD sells, I would wait, question mark. I'm kind of iffy on it regardless, because I do expect I still do kind of think the US dollar is in for a rise, although with all the whole politics and whatever yada yada going on, it's election season, money's moving around, so that's why I'm still thinking that DXY is going to go bullish, but that's my opinion. Any questions? Any questions on EURUSD? Don't really have. I kind of do, like I said, still think price can potentially come back up to these current highs, then drop. It's very much likely. But the way how the RSI line right here is set up for, it looks like this is setting up for a sell. And it's very possible that price doesn't even go higher, which is what I want to see. I want to see this just start to begin to drop, because the RSI line is way in here. And one thing that, if you guys, it's like, I'm pretty sure you guys know from now, is that the RSI line never leaves this band. So if it's all the way up here, this is what's telling me that, okay, a drop is coming. I want to sell this, because this really can't go that much higher. So that's, again, I really want this to drop. This is what I want to see. I want to see this drop like in the next day or two, or the next couple hours, whatever the USD wants to do. But I do want to see this not drop down all the way down there, but I do want to see it drop. I don't want to see it go all the way up here again. Although if it does, that could be a good entry for a sell. And then you have a higher risk to reward, which is always something that you want. But again, the RSI line is all the way up here. I don't know how much higher this can really go. So let's go on to GBPUSD. My phone is blowing up. All right, so GU, I kind of want to get out of this trade. I'm still in it from, I had gone in at this position, and also I think like a little down over here. So I'm still in this trade, but I kind of want to get out because of the DXY, like how it looks like, right? Like the way how it just looks like it just wants to go bullish. Everything over here looks like it's bullish. And again, the way how I see it happening is actually, before we even do that, let's go into the BXY real quick. The BXY is not going to open until tomorrow at 7 a.m. for me, but I still want to take a look at it. Remove drawings. All right. So the BXY right now looks exactly like GU, right? It looks like literally the same. Actually, let me do it this way. If we look at it from this point of view, right, this structure still has not been broken yet. Therefore, this is still considered to be bullish, because this structure, this previous high right here, it never got broken. So, and then this is the high, then this is the low, lower high. Never made a lower low, but it never, well, it made higher high up here. Never made a higher low. So still see a potential drop coming, but like these candles, they've just been bullish, 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 and I don't really care to see that. But on the weekly time frame, we do see this aggressive buy pop up on this weekly candle. So that's something you definitely want to watch out for. There is a possibility that price can just like come back up here, and even not even just come back up here, but end up breaking this RSI line, because things do look like on the weekly time frame that this may start to go bullish. So that is why I'm saying that I'm most likely going to end up getting out of my GBPUSD trade. I'm not really certain what it's looking like right now. I'll look at it later, but let me go back to GU. So go back to regular candles. All right, so looking at GU, possibility, like I mentioned with the DXY and EURUSD, for price to come back up here, which would also match with a double top with right here, which would make like an M pattern and then end up dropping. That could be a possibility. But I do see with this RSI line right here, I do see that since it's not at the upper danger zone quite yet, and price is already broken through the upper danger zone, that it could come up here next. So what I would want to see, let me remove drawings. 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, it's setting up for the buy, but it's not quite in here yet. I mean, for the sell, but it's not quite in there yet. You get me? But just like with EURUSD, the way how this candle closed on Friday, that's what kind of I like to see, because that's showing me that, okay, maybe the buyers are not interested. And I had gone in at the top of that, like, so, but again, this could just respect right here, keep going higher. So kind of want to get out, but I also want to be patient because I'm just following my trade plan. So that's just how it's going to be. If I take the loss, well, it's not that I probably won't take the loss. If I, like I said, if I start to see stuff happening on the 1-hour time frame, that I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to get out, and it is what it is. So any questions on GBPUSD? Okay, all right. Go on to USDCAD. Ooh, USDCAD hit hard last week, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. The daily buy has just been called on USDCAD. And I remember this trade from last week. Not even gonna talk about it, so let's just forget about that. Let's just actually close all. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave this right here and still talk about it. So what we had last week was so it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these candles. Price ended up breaking through this line, which was our stop loss on which was because I had gone into this buy trade on UCAD, and it had a stop loss because it was right at this line right here. I let it go down, then it went back up, then it came back down again, and then went back up. So I'm just like, okay, UCAD, I know that you're trying to buy, but you're just playing games right now as per usual. Still respected the zone that I drew out, so my buy still stays the same, especially with this buy call happening, and then the way how all this is looking. Yeah, I'm thinking UCAD is definitely going to go bullish, which definitely helps my bias with the US dollar going bullish as well. Now, again, we do have Canadian dollar news on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Wednesday. So we do have to watch and see how that plays out, because that could make the Canadian dollar grow strength against the US dollar, which will make USDCAD end up dropping. So, but I'm still bullish on this. 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, same thing. It's bullish. This was definitely the trip though. Price came down. Then there's a bigger engulfing candle to the upside. That's upsetting. But definitely still do want to see UCAD go bullish. It really went into people's money for no reason. Yeah, I don't even like the way how the hourly looks, so I'm just going based off of the daily time frame and basically the 4 hour. But I'm definitely bullish on UCAD. Um, if you are if you're down, if you want to like take it as a swing trade, because like I said, I do ultimately think that UCAD is gonna sell. I mean buy. I still want to see a breakout to the upside because it does need to break this little area right here. It does need to break that, so I do kind of want to see a breakout, but by the time we get a breakout, it's already going to be at the mean line. So if you're down, price is over the RSI line already, and it's calling for a buy. So if you're down, you can totally buy that, but I would kind of play it at your own risk, right? Do it at your own risk because it'd be kind of a lot. Well, not a lot, because how many pips is that? From right here to this low again, 40 pips, 60 pips. Yeah, if it was me to try to get into a UCAD buy, I'd probably, but then if it came down, then it would be over the RSI line. So, no, you know, a break and retest is what I'm just going to stick with on UCAD, kind of. Although it could literally just take off right here, but I still want price to come up, come back down to retest the RSI line and respect it, then I could take it back up. But I am bullish on USDCAD. But again, if you want to take that risk and trade, like if you want to get into a trade right now, this is what I would do. Because it does look like it's going bullish right now. And this is what the setup will look like. So you're going to be risking 130. That's still a lot, but you're going to be risking 138 pips for 419 pips. That's a good amount. That's a good risk to reward ratio. It's a 1 to 3. And again, it's a swing trade, so it might not even take 2 weeks or something like that. But again, it's like if you're a swing trader, then that's the type of thing you like to insure. But again, that's kind of like, it's a lot of, I would rather, again, wait for a break and retest for me to make sure that it's respecting that RSI line, and then I would buy it. But everything else looks like it's starting to buy. Like the only thing we're really waiting for is for the Lelo Pro, we're down here, and the arbitrage Z, the yellow lines for it to cross this line right here. That's basically all we're waiting for on the daily. So yeah, if you, like I said, if you want to go ahead and take the buy right now, sure thing. But I do expect that if it does buy, there'd be the rejection. It'll drop down again and then buy up for a continuation. Yeah. So any questions on UCAD? All right, no questions. I wouldn't mind if, like I said, it'd be asking too much for a price to come back down here for me to buy it. That'd be asking a lot, but that would be what I would want. But then if it did that, then again, the price would be under the RSI line, which would then make it bearish. So kind of in a iffy place. Like I said, play it at your own risk. Let's go ahead, go on to USDJPY. Yeah, forgot to hit him up. All right, so UJ. I believe I had mentioned that UJ might end up dropping last week. I'm not really too sure. I wasn't paying attention to this pair, so I don't really remember. To be honest, I'd have to go back and take a look at the video. But what price ended up doing is it did fake out. I feel like I did mention that it faked out people, but it doesn't matter. What price ended up doing was respecting its RSI line and dropped, and now it's currently again at this lower danger zone, and it's just been messy and consolidating basically for the past couple of days. Well, not past couple. It's been consolidating since basically a month now, since the 11th of June. It has been a month. So prices at this lower danger zone, if it's going to continue consolidating, then I'm bullish until it gets back up here. Like, honestly, like, and the RSI line being in the middle does not help anything. So 4-hour time frame, it looks like we have a oversold sign. So we could definitely start seeing price push up, and it's right at the 2 deviations right here. So I could definitely expect price to go bullish. So if you're into risky trades, and look at here, looks like the 1-hour time frame is actually setting up for a buy. You have the aggressive buy called right here. So this is actually something, if I'm down to be risky, I might get into. And I totally, it's all right. Totally forgot to switch it off again, but it's okay. All right, let me see. I'm pretty sure if I do it right now, it's not going to change anything. But yeah, so for USDJPY, I definitely do see a potential buy right here. Like, if you're going to be aggressive and go based off of this aggressive buy right here, then for sure take this buy. 51 pips for, if I were to put a stop loss, probably be like 30 pips right there. I don't like the risk to reward. But then again, like I said, if you're using the daily time frame as a potential trade, then you could take this a little higher to the RSI line, which makes it a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, which isn't bad, right? It isn't terrible at all. Kind of matches up with the 4-hour upper danger zone, and it definitely, why not just, you could definitely shoot for the 2 deviations, but I'd rather just take my profits right there. But yeah, this could be a potential trade. Like I said, it's a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, so it is definitely something to take a look at. These aren't really showing that they want to buy yet, not necessarily at all. So we could still potentially get price come back down to the 2 deviations, then pop up. 15-minute time frame. Let me hide all the other drawings so that we can see. I did not mean to do that. I just meant to hide. There you go. 15-minute time frame, we have prices currently at the upper danger zone and the RSI line. So if it respects this, then again, we could potentially see price come back down to these recent lows before going back up. And that looks pretty realistic. So I would wait. That's why I don't really necessarily trade just going based off of that aggressive buy anymore, although it has come in handy plentiful of times. And the hourly candle does look like it wants to continue going bullish. But if, like I said, that's all, it's due to your discretion. If you want, that looks like a solid trade to me. If we're being aggressive, that is. Any questions on USDJPY? Any questions? Nope. I actually might get into this later tonight, depending on how it looks like in the next 2 hours. All right. We'll go ahead and go on to USDCHF. It's a pair I haven't talked about in a minute. All right, so daily time frame USDCHF. I like seeing the RSI line at the lower danger zone. It's too early to tell, but this does kind of look like it may go bullish, especially since it came down here and it's been respecting this 2 deviations, although it's been bearish. I still think that it could start to make a reversal and catapult up. Weekly time frame, yeah. Kind of have the same thoughts on the weekly. It's just been extremely bearish want to see it go a little bullish now. It could definitely come to 3 deviations, which it did over here, but that's kind of that's a little asking for too much, no? But let's see how that plays out, because it could possibly happen. 4-hour time frame is starting to call for a buy, but price rejected off of the RSI line, so that's kind of not what I want to see. Definitely want to see it actually break through, retest it, then go bullish. 1-hour time frame, though, I'm pretty sure it's already it's already called for the buy. Price respected that upper danger zone. Now it's calling for a sell, but I don't like the sell, because I definitely want to buy, but I could definitely see price coming back down and dropping to this lower danger zone, then pushing up. I can see that potentially happening. So, yeah, but basically, I want to be bullish on USDCHF, but it's way too bearish right now for me to risk getting into it, because last time it was down here was on wicks, was on this big wick right here. So let's see what happens on USDCHF, but it's been bearish. I want it to start retracing and go up a little bit, at least. Not saying that it's going to change any type of direction, because it is in a downtrend. If we yeah, it's in a downtrend, man. It's been dropping for a minute now. It's in a downtrend. So to say that it's just going to go bullish right now it's kind of idiotic. Well, not idiotic, but it's presumptuous. You're presuming a lot if you're going to say that this is going to go bullish right now. But this would be a good time for it to go bullish, because, like I said, 4 hours starting to set up, although it got rejected. And I like the way how the RSI line on arbitrage looks. I mean, on the daily time frame for the arbitrage looks. So again, this could definitely start turning around right now, but it's too early to tell. All right. So any questions on USDCHF? No questions. All right. All right. Let me see something. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Or actually, hold on. I'm going to pause my share real quick. No, I'm not. I'll do that later. It's not that big a deal. All right. So any questions on USHF? Nope. Okay. Let's go ahead and go on to AUDUSD real quick, and then I'll go on to AUD pairs like EA and GA, but that's once I get back on with the other link, because this definitely is going to shut down. But again, guys, same set. It's the same setup that I've been talking about. This hasn't really changed at all. It's just been consolidating up here for the past 5-6 days. It could make that minor push up, but again, I'm still on the same idea thinking that price is going to drop, because look at the RSI line. It's way up here. 4-hour time frame, it called for the sell. Gives me more confidence to say that this is going to drop. And it broke, retested, respected it. So I'm actually probably going to end up getting into this trade. I didn't end up getting in right here, but it's okay. So, and then 1-hour time frame, it's already starting to look like it wants to make another drop. So again, it came, respected this mean line and dropped, came back up a little bit more, but I think this is going to continue to the downside, which also helps I don't know what SPX 500 is doing, but yeah, Australian dollar, I still expect this to drop. Let me look at the AXY real quick. Just want to see what it did last week. It's a whole lot of same thing. A whole lot of consolidation up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 candles just consolidated, didn't really do much. So yeah, and this looks like it's setting up for the sell as well. So yeah, just waiting on that to happen. But yeah, AUDUSD, as I mentioned, I do believe is going to drop. It's setting up nicely on the daily time frame. 4 hours already called the sell. So for the sell, this is actually an opportunity to get into a trade. I'm already in an EA buy, which I do still think is going to go bullish. And I had called the AU sell a couple of days ago. And it was like from, I think like up here-ish, I believe. And so again, 4-hour sell opportunity right before market closed. So that's pretty solid to me. We're getting in currently at this candle right here. This is your sell opportunity for those who are trying to sell on the 4-hour time frame. What I would honestly, like me personally, just because I know that price had probably left like 2 wicks up there, that I would personally put my stop loss, like, I don't like it all the way up there necessarily, but I would put it like here, like 45 pip loss. But on the, like I said, this is like a trade that I'm looking at on. Oh, this looks solid because it's coming back to this daily RSI line, but I do believe that price is going to break through and go bearish, and I would love to sell it down to these past lows. So it's a 1 to 2.3 risk to reward ratio. You're risking 45 pips to get 106 pips. So that's pretty decent to me, honestly. And on the 4-hour time frame, that's taking it down to the 2 deviations, which is kind of like a TP2 for me. So that's perfect. So yeah, there's a sell opportunity on AUDUSD right there. Any questions? All right. I'm gonna go ahead and go on to EURAUD. So EA, again from last week, it's called the buy. Price did end up coming back over the RSI line, so it's definitely bullish. I'm still in this trade. I had closed my second position that I mentioned. I got in like right around here-ish, I believe. Yeah. And I just have the one position running. Do believe it's going to come up here. This is where I'm going to take most of my trade, like some of it away, and then I'll probably end up looking to get into a buy if this does break through this RSI line. But actually, I'm going to keep my target at right here, 1.63131. That was my initial target, and that's where I'm going to take this to. And I'll look for a different opportunity once price gets up there, if it's going to continue going bullish or if it's going to reject off of the daily. If it's going to reject off of the daily RSI line and then drop, or if it's going to buy. So, but I'm definitely still in this trade. I'm still holding it. I'm loving everything about it. GBPAUD. GA on the 4-hour looks incredible as well. Hello. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, plus it. So GA finally, 10 years later, after how long, it's finally decided that it probably wants to go bullish. Now, if this is a fake out, I swear I'm going to be upset, but I do believe this is going to go bullish as well, just like how EA is going to go bullish and just like how I think AUDUSD is going to go bullish. It's only been a matter of time, but hey, now we finally have that. But I still want to see breakout, a retest, and then an entry to go bullish. So it's been the same thing I've been talking about for GA. It's just, like I said, mad consolidation. It did drop a little lower than I wanted it to, because I would have loved to have bought it right here. But it dropped 300 pips. I would not have wanted it to be in any type of lot size, whether if it's a 0.01 or a 1 lot size. I would not want to be in no 300 pip drawdown. So It's best to wait sometimes and take your loss early so that you could win big later, right? Yeah, I'm about to look at the hour right now. The 4 hour time frame, I'm not really for me to get for anybody to get into potential trade right now at this point, I would just wait because the 4 hour time frame it went bullish and it's just stayed up here. It's at the 2 deviation, so I would even try to get into a buy right there. And likewise with the hourly looks like it's setting up for a minor drop. So what we could potentially have here is for price to come back down to this lower danger zone and then pop up. That would be what like buyers would want to be looking for right now for that kind of opportunity. But again, I don't know how likely that may happen. But hey, that's what would look best. But as of right now, the daily time frame looks bullish, and it looks like price wants to try to break through this, so it's not looking too great for that. But again, that's what I would look for me to get an opportunity. Honestly, is for price to come back down to like the likes of 1.8100 to 1.8110. That would be like just my ideal entry to potentially get into a buy, like where this box is at. And I'll go ahead and drop coordinates on it so that you can see where it's at. Anywhere in between there is where I would like to try to get into a buy. If I can get anywhere in there for an entry and it holds there, then yes, I'll definitely hold that for my daily buy. But again, that's like for a swing trade. So if you're going to hold that, you're going to want to hold it for longer than a week or two. So, but that's for GA. I definitely do like the buys on this because again, EA, I like to buy on it as well. I'll go ahead and take a look at. I'll take a look at gold. Oh yeah, let me definitely look at gold actually. So gold's back at 1800. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Let's see what's good on the 4 hour time frame. So price when gold finally reached to 1795, consolidated for like a couple hours, jumped up all the way to 1818, then dropped down back to 1795, 17. I honestly wanted it to reach 1790 and then buy it because I do think that's going to come back up to 1819. Possibly might make a higher high, but I do want it to come up here to make a double top and then drop. So, but that didn't happen. Not yet, at least. Hourly time frame. Don't really care with how this looks. So, but I do think that gold, you just don't want to even mess with it right now. It did call for overbuys right here, but just says right here, you don't really want to care for looking at overbuys and then be like, oh, call for overbuy, let me sell, because as you can see, it just went bullish. So kind of might want to wait to see what gold does right here. Let me go to SPX 500. Or does anybody have any questions on gold? S&P, man, like I said, I don't know what it's on, but it's more. If it could hold right here, all I'm gonna say on S&P, and this goes to NASDAQ 100 and US 30. If it holds right here, anywhere in this level right here, sell it. But if it breaks through it, just get out the trade, hold your loss. But everything is bullish right now. You don't want to be in this. Everything, but it's calling for overbuy. So, but everything is. I wouldn't try to sell this. This would be the last thing I would try to. I mean, not. I wouldn't try to buy it right now, but it could. So obviously, if it could, then you don't. You just want to be like, hey, well, then let's just wait on it and see what happens. But as of right now, I'm patiently waiting. Aggressive sellers, if you want, you can try to buy it. I mean, I know I keep saying buy. You can want. If you want, you can try to sell it, but again, anywhere in this area for me is a sell area. So that's for S&P 500. Let's go ahead and look at the Dow Jones so you guys can see the exact same thing. Oops. Yeah, basically, like I said, like the exact same thing I just mentioned. You want to just see if price holds right here, anywhere in this level, then you can sell it. If it doesn't, then don't sell it. On the daily, it did call for a sell, then it switched back up for a buy. When stuff like this usually happens, another sell is going to pop up. Usually, like I said. So again, I'm still bullish on. I mean, I'm still bearish on it because it just basically consolidated all of last week. It was up here, dropped, came back up. It's been consolidating for quite a while now, so still think it's gonna fall. All right. Any questions on the Dow Jones or S&P and gold? Those are my opinions on them. I don't really have an opinion on gold, but yeah. All right. Is there any other pairs that anybody wants me to look through? No? Okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, guys, thank you for joining in. I do appreciate y'all for hopping on. I'm going to go ahead and join those two clips together and then post it up as soon as possible, probably like in the next 2 hours. So go ahead, and if you need to go back for any references, you can check on that. And thank you guys for stopping by. Appreciate it again. And have a good rest of your night, and let's have a good week.